Welcome back to another rebuild I got for you guys here today. Today I'm going to be attempting a realistic rebuild of the Detroit Lions. So this team is actually not too bad. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. I think he's sort of underrated for what he does, because a lot of the time I feel like he is like, losing in the fourth quarter or like late third quarter. And, most of the time I feel like he comes back and wins the game. I don't know, I like Matthew Stafford a lot. I think he's a good quarterback. They just signed like Garrett Blount in free agency. He had a pretty good year last year with the Eagles. He did exactly what they needed him to do. I think he can play super well for the Lions, take some stress off of like Theo Riddick and Amir Abdullah, and actually have a pretty viable run game. Golden Tate is a great wide receiver. He, normally goes off in simulation, which is nice to see. I feel like Marvin Jones is also underrated. I feel like Marvin Jones is such a good wide receiver. Maybe he's not underrated too much in Madden terms, because in 88 I feel like is right around where he should be. I'm going to throw Golden Tate in the slot and have Marvin Jones play the number 1, and then probably have Kenny Galladay play the number 2, just because he's a rookie. This O-line isn't horrible. There's some young players here. Taylor Decker, this is Graham Glasgow. Yeah, you're 25 years old. Travis Swanson is 26. Okay, you're not as young as I thought. TJ Lang is rather old, and Rick Wagner is like 27. Alright, well, he's still not terrible. Luke Wilson is their starting tight end. Of course, they did lose Eric Ebron, who was great to have in rebuilds, but I'm pretty sure he was not that great in real life. He's one of those overrated players in Madden. Tavon Wilson Sr. is their starting strong safety. I'm probably going to sign a safety, but Glover Quinn is a very talented free safety. 89 overall. He's going to regress rather quickly, but he's still pretty good. Might as well use him while I can. Darius Slay is a great number 1 corner. Quandre Diggs is not terrible. Nevin Lawson isn't bad either. This linebacker core is nothing fantastic, but Gerard Davis, very young player out of Florida. Yeah, I was right. Okay, I hesitated there for a second just to make sure I had the right school. 85 speed, 86 tackling, not terrible. 21 years old as well. Horrible zone coverage, but it's okay. Anthony Zettel is actually a pretty good defensive lineman. 25 years old, out of Penn State, of course. Ezekiel Ansah, very good player. Sylvester Williams, 28 years old with slow development. I'm going to not do that. I want to put him on the trade block. I want to see if anybody wants him. The Bears are actually interested in him. Oh, that's tragic. But Ashawn Robinson will probably start. He's rather young. He's only 22 years old. What is this, Josh Hill? No, Jordan Hill. My bad. Jordan Hill might be the number 2. I don't know, but Sylvester Williams, you're going on the trade block, my friend. 1,000,000%. They also have Kerry Hyder Jr., who is rather young, but I'm just going to add him to the trade block too. I'll let you guys know with, what kind of, trades I accept and stuff. Before I accept any trades, I do want to sign Trey Boston because he is a very good safety, and I'm going to move him over to strong safety. I'm getting some trade offers for Kerry Hyder Jr. I'm expecting a decent amount of value since he's pretty young. Second rounder next year from the Chiefs, a 5th this year and a 6th next year, a 3rd this year and a 7th next year from the Cardinals. That's looking pretty good. A 4th and a 7th this year, or all that stuff from the Bills. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I'm also getting some trade offers for Sylvester Williams. Didn't expect this at all. He is pretty bad. But we're getting a 3rd and a 7th next year from the Titans. A 3rd and a 7th from the Raiders. A 4th and a 7th. Okay, well, 5th, 3rd and a 7th from the Cowboys. A 2nd next year, a 5th this year, and a 7th next year. Why? I don't know. I'm just going to accept it. That is super unrealistic, but I don't really care. I'm just going to accept that. At the midseason mark here, we are 5-2, actually playing pretty well. The Packers are 3-4. We are on top of the division. We just barely lost to the Steelers, too. The Vikings are 5-3, and the Bears are 2-6. I forgot to change the experience sliders again. I can't believe I did that once again. I also did that in my Falcons rebuild, I'm pretty sure. My bad. Stafford, though, has 3,000. Marvin Jones, 2,800. There's not going to be too much because I forgot this. 3,500 for Gerard Davis, and that's the most on the defense. That's my fault. I'm going to do this quick before I bring anybody back, just so I remember now. Now that I changed the sliders, I'm comfortable bringing some players back. I just didn't want to forget again. Ziggy Ansah is the top player to bring back. I think I am going to do this. He's a very talented defensive end. Hope he's playing well for us. I will bring him back until he goes down to like an 80 overall, and then I will probably replace him. Travis Swanson. I don't really think I want him. I can definitely replace him. Greg Robinson, pretty decent stats, but slow development. Actually, really bad blocking stats, but he's super strong. Slow development doesn't help. Jordan Hill I don't want. Dwight Freeney, don't want him either, or Zach Zenner. I'm good with the players that I have. We went 11-5 this year, and we made the playoffs. 10-6, though, from the Redskins. 8-8 from the Vikings and Packers. 4-12 from the Bears. The division was not very close. 2-2 in the preseason. Won the opening 5 games, and then we lost to the Saints by quite a bit, and the Steelers and the Packers. And we beat the Browns, lost to the Bears, won a whole lot in a row, and then lost to the Packers. We actually lost twice to the Packers, even though they went 8-8. Tom Brady wins MVP, but how did Stafford play? 4,218 yards, 42 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Not a bad season whatsoever. LeGarrette Blount, 1,247 yards, 8 touchdowns. Theo Riddick had 10 touchdowns as a backup. I wish I could speak better. 1,275 yards, though, from Marvin Jones with 16 touchdowns. Golden Tate gets over 1,000 yards with 10 touchdowns. Kenny Galladay gets 6. Luke Wilson only gets 2. Sacks. Taylor Decker let up 18, but hopefully that goes down next season. Rick Wagner let up 10. 124 tackles for Gerard Davis. I see some sack numbers that look amazing. 6 tackles for loss for Ezekiel Ansah and Ashawn Robinson, but 22 sacks from Ezekiel Ansah. He was half a sack away, from tying the record. 14.5 from Anthony Zettel is not bad whatsoever. Interceptions, we got 5 from Big Play Slay, 3 from Trey Boston, 2 from Glover Quinn, 1 from Anthony Zettel, he actually got a pick, 1 from Devon Kennard, I don't know why I stuttered on his name at first, 1 from Nevin Lawson, Quandre Diggs, and Deshaun Shedd. Any touchdowns? Oh, we did not get any. We were 14th in the NFL in offense. I feel like this defense was actually quite good. I would say like top 15. We were 7th. We were top 10. Tom Brady, like I mentioned, does win MVP. Stafford is in there, though, at number 6. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Stafford makes it at number 4. Nobody else from our team. Defensive Player of the Year does go to Ezekiel Ansah. That is great to see. Anthony Zettel makes it in there at number 10 as well. Mitchell Trubisky wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Kenny Galladay comes in 8th. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Gerard Davis. We're getting very fortunate with these awards right now. Jalen Reeves-Maybin comes in 8th, though. I just want to check something. Best D-Lineman goes to Ezekiel Ansah. But Anthony Zettel comes in 6th. That's not horrible either. Hopefully they both made a Pro Bowl. I'm sure Ezekiel Ansah did, but I hope Anthony Zettel did as well. 9,000 experience for Stafford, 19,000 from Marvin Jones, though. He should go up pretty well. And then here on the defense, 29,000 from Gerard Davis, 13K from Ezekiel Ansah. That's what, being kind of old does to you. But he did get Superstar Dev, made the Pro Bowl, and was a D-Lineman of the Year. Got 13,000 XP. I also forgot to change the sliders. That was my bad. 5.8 thousand from Anthony Zettel. Don't tell me that's a Pro Bowl, because that would be pathetic. Okay, that's not a Pro Bowl. 7.4 for Darius Slay. I do not have to bring anybody back. For some reason, I thought this was the mid-season mark, and I was about to negotiate with players. This is a look at the updated team. A lot of players went up pretty decently well. Kenny Galladay is a 78 overall now. I think he might be the most improved on the offense. Rick Wagner is an 86, though. TJ Lang is a 90 overall. Here on the defense, Gerard Davis is an 84 overall. Ezekiel Ansah went up to an 88. Not too bad. Anthony Zettel is an 87 with some confidence. Let's check out the overall. I feel like we are a higher overall than the Redskins. We're an 82. They're an 85. We actually are not a higher overall. That's okay, though. Let's see if we can take them down. This is not on a, offline league, so this should go pretty quick. And we lose very, very quickly. So let's check out the record. Not the record. I keep saying that. Let me check out the score. 34-20. A 2-possession game. Wasn't too close. Trey Boston is able to be brought back now. I definitely want to do that. He played pretty well for us. He's going to come back to the team with a contract that he wants. But Travis Swanson, Greg Robinson, Jordan Hill, I already mentioned I don't want to bring those guys back. But let's see who is here in free agency. Hopefully somebody amazing is. Imagine like Le'Veon Bell didn't get signed or something. $53.28 million. That would be ridiculous. But Drew Brees is the top player. Everybody else here is pretty much the same. Actually, Sharif Floyd is here. I haven't seen him in a little while. I might actually give him a contract because I could use a defensive tackle. I'm not sure if there's any good ones in the draft. Might as well try to get my man Sharif. Let's see what I can do. We got Sharif Floyd on our team. Not bad. Making our D-line that much better. Cedric Haggins is going to be my first round selection here. Supposed to go mid-first round, but I know this guy has superstar development. He's going to be phenomenal. Let me just make one last check. Yeah, okay, this is for sure the guy I want. He looks ridiculous. A- hit power, B pursuit, B zone coverage with very good speed. Let's select him. 81 overall superstar development. I think I might start this guy at free safety or maybe switch Trey Boston over because Glover Quinn is getting pretty old and I think he's like an 84 overall right now. Wade Davidson is the next player I'm going to be selecting. He's a middle linebacker out of Kansas State with a very good combine and good top 3 skills. Let's go with him. It's 78 overall. Quick development. What's his zone coverage all about? 75 overall. Zone, I don't know why I said it like that. But anyway, I think I might have this guy play outside linebacker. I have suspicions that this guy might have slow, but even if he does, it's going to be a great value pick. Griffin Barkley. A- press, B- man, C+ zone. With very good speed and good 3-cone and good 20-yard shuttle. Let's go with him. He's a 79 overall, normal development, but 94 speed. 81 man, 76 zone with 90 press. This guy's really good. Stanley Harvey is going to be my selection now. Looks like a pretty decent wide receiver, but what I'm thinking is that I'm going to slide this guy to tight end. I do that quite a bit, I think. Well, I've been starting to do it recently because it works really well. Because these really tall red zone threat, kind of slow wide receivers make for some fantastic tight ends. Let's go with him. 76 overall, superstar development. This guy's going to be like an 85 at tight end. Deron Powers is going to be my 4th round selection here. He looks pretty decent. B power moves, B minus block shed, C plus hit power with a good combine. I know I just signed Sharif Floyd, but I still have room for this guy on the team. 79 overall superstar development. This draft has been unreal. I'm going to be selecting my last player that I'm going to be taking in this draft, and I think I'm just going to sim because I have a lot of picks for next year already. I don't really want to accrue anymore, but Shane Lentz, maybe. This guy's a decent fullback. Actually, if this guy's not great, I'll probably take one of these other guys, but let's go with this guy first. He's a 78 overall, normal development. That's perfectly fine by me. That was an excellent pick. I'm just going to sim to the end of the draft. This draft may have been my best. I know I just said that recently, I think, about the one I had in the all-rookie rebuild, but this one, it was ridiculous. I'll let you know who the computer selects, though. I think the draft's about to round up here, so I might as well just keep talking. Yeah, I figured it would be done soon. Let's just recap our draft picks, though. So we got an 81 overall strong safety, 78 overall middle linebacker, 79 corner, 76 superstar wide receiver, 79 superstar defensive tackle, and then 78 fullback. These guys are all going to be starters. But then the computer drafted us these 3 guys. They're not horrible, but, you know, of course, none of them are going to start. I'm giving the Chiefs Deshaun Shedd and Theo Riddick for Mitch Morrison, this random quarterback. The reason why he's here is for cap reasons. Here is a look at the second-year team. I definitely think this team is better than last year's. A lot of the offense is the same, like Stafford, Blount, Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay, Golden Tate. Those guys are all the same. But Harvey is now our starting tight end. He went up to an 83 at tight end. He is superstar development. I hope he can play well. Mitch Morris is now our starting center. I feel like that was a pretty decent, player. I mean, he's kind of the same as Travis Swanson. I kind of expected to draft a center, but I couldn't find any good ones. I'm perfectly fine with having him there. We didn't really give up all that much. Anyway, we have Amir Abdullah still here, so it's not like we lost that much giving them Theo Riddick. But let's check out the defense now. Davidson went up to an 80 overall at right outside linebacker. Haggins is starting at strong safety. I think I said he was going to start at free, but it makes a lot more sense just to move Trey Boston back to his natural position over there. Barkley is starting at the number 2 corner. He's a 79 overall in the correct scheme. Powers is starting at the second defensive tackle spot, aside from Sharif Floyd. I think this team is very, very good. We can definitely make the playoffs again. We are 2-5 at the midseason mark right now. That was rather unexpected. 4-4 from the Vikings, though. 6-2 from the Packers. 2-5-1 from the Bears. All right, not really too sure how this is happening. I don't know who's playing badly, but 8.6 thousand, I almost said 8.6. 8.6 thousand for Powers, 11.8 thousand from Haggins. That's pretty awesome. I'm going to let that go. I would normally spend that like if we were having a decent year, but I might just let that one go there. No one on the offense is too much. I mean, 10K from Stafford's actually quite a bit. 7,000 from Golden Tate isn't bad either. Speaking of him, we have to bring him back. I want to do this because he actually plays very well in simulation. 5-year deal. Have him play till he's 35 years old. All right. Amir Abdullah's here. I'm not going to worry about him. Mitch Morris, I think I will negotiate with because even if I get a player to replace him, he can still play as a backup because there's always a good chance he can make, a wild card. Not a wild card. What am I talking about? Make a Pro Bowl spot. I'm going to bring back Devon Kennard too. Even though he probably won't be starting next year, I can always move him to like backup middle or something just to make that look a little better. Quandre Diggs, I don't want to bring him back. He has slow development. I didn't know if he had that the whole time, but I'm not going to worry about him or Cornelius Washington, Corey Robinson, or anyone else here. We did not make the playoffs this season. Aaron Rodgers wins MVP, and we went 5-11. Okay, so we literally just flipped. I have no idea how this happened. The Packers were 11-5, the Vikings 9-7, and the Bears 5-10-1. I really don't know what went wrong. 3-1 in the preseason, lost the opening game, won 2 in a row, lost to the Packers, Eagles, Packers, Bears, Vikings. Then we beat the Dolphins, lost to the 49ers, beat the Bills, lost to the Jets and Falcons, beat the Bears, lost to the Vikings and the Patriots. I am really not sure how this happened. Maybe Stafford didn't play well? 4,139 yards, 33 touchdowns, 16 picks. Really not a terrible season. A lot of interceptions, not like an insane amount of yards, but still not bad. I mean, LeGarrette Blount over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. It's still not a bad season. Amir Abdullah had 5 touchdowns. Marvin Jones had over 1,000 yards yet again. Golden Tate, 1,118 with 10 touchdowns. Kenny Galladay actually played sort of well. Stanley Harvey had 6 touchdowns, 710 yards. Okay, maybe that's why. Taylor Decker let up 31 sacks. I need a new left tackle. Rick Wagner only let up 11. That's not bad. 158 tackles, though, from Gerard Davis. 121 from Wade Davidson. And 105 from Devon Kennard with 4 interceptions. That's a good season. 11 tackles for loss for Anthony Zettel. 15.5 sacks from Ziggy Ansah. 7.5 from Sharif Floyd. Interceptions 5 from Darius Slay, 4 from Devon Kennard. 2 from Cedric Haggins and Griffin Barkley. 1 from Wade Davidson, Gerard Davis, Quandre Diggs, and Trey Boston. The defense actually seems like they played decently well. And we had 3 touchdowns. One from Darius Slay, Cedric Haggins, and Griffin Barkley. Okay. 21st in the NFL in offense. Maybe that's why we didn't play too well. The defense seemed like they were top 15 again. 26th. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. But Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. Wins MVP? What? Wins MVP. I said that for like the 4th time in a row. Whatever. Nobody from the Lions. NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Anybody from the Lions? Do not see anyone. Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe Ezekiel Ansah slips in again. He does not. I think I always said slips in again. He won it last year. That wouldn't be. He didn't slip in last year if he won. I don't know. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Stanley Harvey comes in 5th. Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Wade Davidson. That's okay. Griffin Barkley comes in 2nd. Cedric Haggins comes in 5th. And Darren Powers comes in 8th. Okay, so we didn't have a good season, but we did decently experience-wise, and we should also have a pretty good draft pick. So 15,000 experience from Matthew Stafford, 12,000 from Golden Tate. Taylor Decker definitely has to move. Maybe I'll throw TJ Lang out to left tackle. I have no idea. 11,000 from Harvey is not bad. Here on the defense, 46,000 from Wade Davidson. He has superstar development now, too, because he made a Pro Bowl, won Defensive Rookie of the Year. This guy is a great player. 14,000 from Ezekiel Ansah, 12,000 from Sharif Floyd, 10K from Anthony Zettel. This looks like a Pro Bowl to me. He actually did not make a Pro Bowl. He just has 12K. 19,000 from Haggins. Quite a bit. Barkley 6,000. Honestly expected a bit more. 13K from Gerard Davis isn't bad either. We are in free agency here. We have $47.46 million to spend. Drew Brees is the top free agent. There is like no one here. I am really surprised that not even anyone close to being good is here. Denzel Perryman might be like the best player to go after. I mean, okay, so Drew Brees is very good, but I definitely don't need him on this kind of team. I mean, I could use a left tackle, but I don't think there's any good ones. Ty Sombrello, no. Roger Saffold, no. Okay, so I'll just see you guys in the draft. My first round draft pick this year is going to Keith Gregory. This guy looks ridiculous. 6'3", running a 4.27 with the fastest 3-cone and the fastest 20-yard shuttle. This guy is going to be insane. 82 overall, normal development, 96 speed, 85 catching, 93 acceleration. What's his agility all about? 93 agility as well. This guy's ridiculous. Since I drafted that wide receiver, I'm going to be trading the Panthers Kenny Golladay, a 2nd and a 4th rounder, for the 10th overall pick. And here I'm going to be drafting an outside linebacker. This guy's supposed to be a late 1st rounder, but I just felt like, making sure I get him. This guy looks very good, by the way. He was like the first player I scouted. Shaquille Wire, late 1st rounder, not the fastest in the world, but I still think he can get the job done. He is a 79 overall superstar development. Sadly, he only has 79 speed, but 62 zone coverage. That doesn't really make up for it. I still think this guy's going to start and play pretty well. Rashawn Hill is going to be my 2nd round draft pick. Looks pretty good. He's not very fast, but he has a good 3-cone, a good 20-yard shuttle with very good top 3 skills. Let's select him. He's a 77 overall. Sadly, he has slow development, but I still think I'm going to start him. I'm going to be trading away this 3rd round draft pick for some stuff next season. There's a 3rd and a 5th rounder. The 3rd's still this year, though. There's a 2nd next year from the Bengals. I'll probably just take that, just to keep it nice and sweet. Yep, I'm just going to take that from the Bengals. With this pick, I'm going with Griffin Boggs. Looks like a pretty good center. I don't know if he's going to come in and start, but let's select him. He's a 76 overall normal development. That was a very good pick. He ranked 36th, and we took him at 133rd. This is a team heading into the 3rd season. I really think this team should make the playoffs. Like, our lowest rated player is like a 79, lowest rated starter maybe, but he's still not bad. Graham Glasgow's a pretty good player. But Stafford's still the quarterback. LeGarrette Blount is going down in overall, but he still actually has very good stats, but I will look to replace him after this season. Marvin Jones, Golden Tate still, keeping up there at wide receiver number 1 and number 2. I actually moved Golden Tate to the number 2 wide receiver because I want Gregory to play the slot. I think he can play super well there. I also want to sign another wide receiver just to get a decent 4th option, just in case that ends up mattering. Let's sign Marquez Wilson. Why not? Not bad, 26 years old. I'll take you on the team. Let's continue going over the team, though. I moved TJ Lang to left tackle, even though he tragically has 69 run blocking. What happened? Maybe he was just never a good run blocker, but still, that's terrible. That's ridiculous. It's like I think this guy might have Luke Wilson. I don't know why I said this guy. Luke Wilson has better run block. I don't know. But Graham Glasgow starting at left guard, of course. Mitch Morris is still the center. Taylor Decker is the right guard now, and Rick Wagner is still the right tackle. And then here on defense, Davidson went up to an 89 overall. He's looking really good there. Haggins is an 87. Wire is starting at left outside linebacker. Powers went up to an 84. Barkley's only an 80, but we have Hill here now in the slot. I definitely think this team is good enough to make it to the playoffs. At the midseason mark here, we are 4-3, doing a bit better than last season. 1-6 though from the Packers, 5-1-1 from the Vikings, and then 5-2 from the Bears. So we're going to have to take down those guys in order to make the playoffs, probably. Matthew Stafford is 8.6 6,000 experience. 9.2 thousand from Gregory is actually very good. And then here on the defense, 12,000 from Wire. I think I am going to spend that just to try to, boost us into the playoffs. Let me do that quickly. Let's see what we can get him up to. I'll probably just put it all into awareness and play recognition. He actually already has 77 play recognition. That's actually very good. What's his pursuit? Not bad either. 82 overall, not bad at the midseason mark. So let's bring some players back. Who is here? TJ Lang is the top free agent for us. He is 31 years old. He's been our best offensive lineman. I will bring him back, along with Anthony Zettel. I will not bring back LeGarrette Blount, and I will negotiate with Taylor Decker. If LeGarrette Blount, doesn't get any offers, and if I can't find a better running back, I can always just sign him in free agency. But TJ Lang came back to the team. Anthony Zettel will likely follow suit that he does. And then Taylor Decker, he's still very young. Maybe he can go off our right guard. And then there we go. We got him back on the team. We made the playoffs yet again, going 11-5. I'm glad we are back here. 9-7 for the Rams. 13-2-1 from the Vikings. 8-8 from the Bears. 7-9 from the Packers. I'm really happy we made it back to the playoffs. But 2-2 in the preseason. Lost the opening game, won 2 more. Lost to the Vikings and the Buccaneers. Beat the Raiders and the Chiefs. Lost to the Packers, won 3 in a row. Lost to the Packers, and then won the last 4. That was a great way to close out the season, especially, heating up going into the playoffs. Drew Brees wins MVP, but Stafford had a crazy year. 4,763 yards, 44 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That is a great season. LeGarrette Blount, probably his worst season yet. Yards per carry were under 4. 9 touchdowns, 1,111 yards. Still isn't bad, but I'm definitely going to replace him. 88 catches, 1,155 yards from Stanley Harvey. He actually almost led our team in yards, but he did lead our team in receptions. That was a great year. Marvin Jones gets over 1,000 yards yet again with 11 touchdowns. Keith Gregory actually gets 15 touchdowns and nearly 1,200 yards. How did TJ Lang play at left tackle? Honestly, a bit better than what Taylor Decker did, but still not great. Here in the defense, we have 165 tackles from Gerard Davis, 132 from Wade Davidson as well. Tackles for loss, 8 from Sharif Floyd, but look at this, yet again. 19 sacks from Ezekiel Ansah. He is unstoppable in simulation. 10.5 from Anthony Zettel is not bad at all. 5 picks from Darius Slay. I think he's had 5 in the past 2 years, or 3 years, including this one. 2 from Cedric Haggins, 2 from Trey Boston, 1 from Rashawn Hill, Shaquille Wire, and Wade Davidson. Shaquille Wire only had 72 tackles and a pick, so I doubt he, won Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he still probably got a decent amount of experience, and we got a touchdown from Trey Boston. So this year we were 12th in the NFL in offense, and then defense was 23rd. Okay. Stafford's probably up here. He's actually number 2, but Drew Brees wins it of the 8-8 Giants. Nobody else from the Lions, I bet, is on this list. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Matthew Stafford comes in 3rd. Nobody else from the Lions. Defensive Player of the Year, Gerard Davis comes in 2nd. Ezekiel Ansah comes in 4th. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Keith Gregory comes in 2nd. I feel like this guy had to have been a quarterback. Alan Walsh, he just looks like one. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Shaquille Wire's in 4th, Rashawn Hill is in 5th, and then that is it for our team. But let's check out the experience. We should have a ton for a couple different players. Hopefully our wide receiver made the Pro Bowl. 38,000 experience. That definitely looks like a Pro Bowl. And he got quick development. That is awesome to see. I also spent the experience at the midseason mark on everybody just to try to boost us into the playoffs. It looks like it kind of worked. 13K though from Harvey. Is that really a Pro Bowl? And that's how much you got? If he didn't make the Pro Bowl, okay, I was going to say that is ridiculous if he didn't. Only got 6,000 for that. And then here on the defense, 9.7 thousand from Wire is the most. Actually, never mind. Darius Slay has 10. But let me spend this quick. This is what the team looks like. Other than Gregory, no one really went up all that much on the offensive side, or really the defensive side, honestly. But here's a quick look at the team. The team actually looks very good. We're a lot more, upgraded than we were last season. Let's check out the, overall. 89 overall to their 92, but I think we might be a bit higher than that if everything got updated. Let's advance by this week. Let's see if we can take down the Rams. I really don't think we will be able to. And we lose again. Didn't we lose to them the first time? I actually can't remember the first time we made the playoffs. Check out the score though. 34-24, another 2-possession game. Graham Glasgow was here. I kind of want to bring him back. I didn't realize he was here. He wasn't, I wasn't able to bring him back at the midseason mark, I don't think. I do want him back. He's coming back to the team. Jalen Richard, I'm going to let go. I can always just sign a backup running back. Not a big deal. Garrett Blount was also there, but I think he's a lower overall than Jalen Richard right now, which is kind of not good. But let's sign free agents. $40.1 million pretty much. Who is the top guy? Deion Jones is the top guy. Devondre Campbell, Kyle Fuller, Corey Clement. Corey Clement might have to be my running back because there's not really anyone that's amazing. I mean, Latavius Murray usually plays pretty well. I'm actually going to go after Latavius Murray. I haven't had him in a little while. I think he can play well for us, and we're only doing one more season, I think. Deion Jones. Do I want to go after him? I have this outside linebacker. Where is he? He's an 84 overall. He's not bad at all, but I mean, Deion Jones could help. I mean, I just got Deion Jones. I kind of don't want to get him again. But I might go after Kyle Fuller, even though I'm going to have to spend a ton of money. Actually, no. I think I'm just going to go after Tavon Young. Yeah, Tavon Young looks pretty good to me. Actually, why am I going down? Definitely have to go up to get him. I'll let you know who I end up getting. I ended up getting Latavius Murray, Josh Sitton, and Tavon Young. The reason why I went after Josh Sitton, though, is because I want him to play left tackle. I remember doing this with him, I think, when I rebuilt, what, the Bears? No, the Dolphins. The Dolphins. When I rebuilt the Dolphins, I remember throwing him to left tackle, and I'm pretty sure he played very well there. Even though he's kind of a low overall, I still trust him more there than I do TJ Lang, but TJ Lang is going to slide into probably left guard. I don't really think it matters if I shift him around, guard positions, because naturally he's a right guard. I'm just going to move him to left. I think it'll all be the same. It'll all be the same in Madden simulation, that is. I understand they're two different positions in real life, but in Madden, it doesn't really seem to matter. I am now in the draft. I'm probably just going to be drafting a running back. Let's see who we can get. There's a pretty good looking speed running back I would kind of like to go after. I think I saw a running back go. He may have already been drafted. He's actually... No, that's not him. This is the speed running back. Addison Wyke. Alright, let's go with him. 79 overall, slow development, but 96 speed is pretty ridiculous. That is, I think, going to be the only player I draft. I'll let you know who the computer takes for me, though. The computer ended up getting me a left guard. Okay, superstar development, Raymond Sloan. And then a free safety, Philip McNary. Not a bad-looking player either, so they didn't do terribly for me. Tavon Young has 30,000 experience. That is amazing. He might be able to go up to an 88 overall. That was a brilliant idea to go after him. This worked out perfectly. Tavon Young is an 87 overall. Really not bad at all. We got him for much cheaper than Kendall Fuller went for. And, he's pretty much the same overall. But this team's actually pretty good. I'm starting over here on the defense just because I wanted to say that. It's not one of the best teams I've ever had, but it's still good enough, I think, to make to the playoffs. Maybe like a 10-6, 11-5 kind of season once more. It's pretty balanced. We have very good players in a bunch of different positions. But there's a look at the defense. Here's the offense. Stafford and Latavius Murray are, the top two guys over here. Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, and Gregory are still the wide receivers. I kind of like this scheme, how it was set up last year. I like how Marvin Jones has been playing. He's been perennially getting over 1,000 yards. And Gregory played well last season. I hope he can replicate that here. Josh Sitton is now the left tackle. TJ Lang's left guard. Taylor Decker's right guard. Mitch Morris is the center. And Rick Wagner is still the right tackle. Harvey had a great season last year. I hope he can do that once more. And then you guys already saw the defense. So I'll see you at the end of the season. So we didn't make the playoffs. Well, that's interesting. This rebuild was very, very different. But it's alright. I still kind of like how it went. 4-12? What? How did this team go 4-12? The Bears 9-7, the Vikings 9-7, and the Packers 10-6. If anybody can let me know how this team went 4-12, I don't know. Maybe Josh Sitton wasn't the answer at left tackle. I don't know. Won every game in the preseason. Lost the opening game. Beat the Panthers. Lost to the Falcons. Beat the Redskins. Lost like 10 games in a row. And then beat the Saints, Texans. And then we lost to the Bears. What even happened? Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. But Stafford, 4,488 yards, 33 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That is a very good season. Well, Latavius Murray did not really play well. Maybe that's why. 1,008 yards, 10 touchdowns. Still not horrible. 9 fumbles. Marvin Jones, though, 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 100 receptions. Keith Gregory, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Stanley Harvey, our tight end, had 4 touchdowns. Sacks, 21 from Josh Sitton. Okay, well, our left tackle position has just been an issue this entire time. On the defense, 164 tackles from Gerard Davis, 127 from Wade Davidson, 9 tackles for loss for Deron Powers, only 7.5 sacks from Sharif Floyd. Ezekiel Ansah got 6.5 there. He was killing it the entire rest of the rebuild. 6 picks, though, from Darius Slay. He's been having an insane rebuild for us. 3 interceptions from Shaquille Wire, 1 from Tavon Young, Gerard Davis, and Griffin Barkley. I really don't think this team was a 4-12 kind of team. Maybe I should have went after a different running back. I don't know. No touchdowns. It's just unfortunate, right? Like, our running game can really just destroy your season. I didn't see what our offensive rank was. I think it was like 10th, and the defense was 29th. I just can't wait for Madden 19 to come out. Aaron Rodgers won MVP. Todd Gurley comes in second. Anybody from the Lions? No, Matthew Stafford doesn't make it. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Rodgers. Matthew Stafford, though, comes in 8th. Defensive Player of the Year, nobody from the Lions. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Addison White comes in 4th. Defensive Rookie of the Year, nobody from the Lions. Best quarterback, Matthew Stafford comes in 6th. Best running back, Latavius Murray should not be in this. Best wide receiver goes to Marvin Jones. Okay, he wins best wide receiver. Keith Gregory comes in 8th, though. Best offensive line, Nobody from the Lions. Best defensive line. Nobody from the Lions. Best linebacker. Nobody from the Lions. Darius Slay, though, comes in third for best defensive back. Sidney Jones comes in fourth. That's cool to see. Best kicker, Matt Prater, comes in fifth. Okay, so this was a very strange rebuild. We had 2 really good seasons and then 2 seasons that were kind of identical and seemed to come out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know if you want to call the bad seasons a fluke or the good seasons a fluke. Who knows? I still think this rebuild was pretty interesting. Just look at the experience. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to spend it all actually really fast to show you what the team could have been. I just let the coach, spend all of the experience. But let me know if you guys think this looks like a 4-12 kind of team. I have no idea. I feel like I've done a lot better with worse teams. But thank you guys very much for watching. I am really sorry, Lions fans, I couldn't realistically rebuild your team. But, when Madden 19 comes out, I'll upload a fantasy-style rebuild of this team and probably have a very, very good team because those are much easier and honestly more enjoyable for me. I know a lot of you guys like realistic rebuilds, but me personally, I like fantasy-style ones a little better. But thank you guys very much for watching once more, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.